Welcome dear students. Today we start chapter 6 lines and angles. Now for this we need to know some basic terms. You may have studied few of them. Basic terms and their definitions. Now for the first one, now what does this represent? All of you know that this is a line. This represents a line. And what about these two arrows? These two arrows mean that this can be extended in both the directions. Arrows mean that this part can be extended in both the directions. Therefore, a line does not have any fixed length or measurement. Now suppose here I take 2 points on this line, A and B. That is A and B. Now what do you see here? A and B are 2 points, fixed points. That means this you cannot extend. So this one is then called a line segment. Line segment is represented this way. A line, suppose this is line, okay, AB, arrows on both the sides. Now suppose, what you can also say, this line segment is a part of the line, isn't it? This AB, this portion of the line represents line segment AB. Now suppose I keep this point fixed, A is fixed and this way. So again this is a portion of this line having only one end point. This is then called a ray and we represent by this symbol, ray AB, line segment AB and line AB. Okay, so these few things are known to you. Next, suppose I have 3 points, 3 points A, B and C. I draw a line. So a straight line can be drawn through this 3 points A, B and C. So we call A, B and C as collinear points. Collinear points. So what are collinear points? If 3 or more points are in a straight line, the points are collinear. And non-collinear points, what will be non-collinear points? Suppose I have 3 points A, B and C. Now can I draw a single straight line passing through all these 3 points? No, either I draw this or I draw this. I do not get a straight line passing through all the 3 points. So these are then called non-collinear points. So understood children, collinear points and non-collinear points. If 3 or more points lie on a straight line, they are called collinear points, and if the points do not lie on a straight line, they are non-collinear points. Okay children, okay, come on. Next, let us see, suppose you have a ray. This is a ray, AB is a ray, and suppose I draw another ray with the same end point. AB is a ray, AC is another ray, both of them having the same end point. Then these two rays form an angle. These two rays form an angle. Okay, this fixed point or the same fixed point, the common point of both the rays, this is called the vertex, and these two are the arms of the angle. This is one arm and this is the second arm. So for an angle we have a vertex and two arms. Now if you measure this angle, for any angle you have a protractor, you can measure an angle. Now suppose I have this angle, suppose A, B, C. Now if you measure it, you will find that its measure is say somewhat 60. So if an angle whose measure is more than 0 or lies between 0 and 90, we call it an acute angle. Acute angle. So for an acute angle, suppose this angle is x, so 0 is less than x, less than 90 degree. So any angle whose measure is between 0 and 90, we call it an acute angle. If you have another angle, say y, the measure of this angle is 90, we call it a right angle. So for a right angle, y is equal to 90 degree. So any angle whose measure is 90 degree is a right angle. Next, suppose you have an angle this way. Now 90 is more or less, this is 90 perpendicular. So what you find, this angle is more than 90. So any angle, this one, more than 90, suppose this is 110 degree, more than 90, we call it obtuse angle. Obtuse angle. Any angle whose measure is more than 90 degree is called an acute angle. So suppose this angle is z, so 90 less than z, z should be less than 180. So any angle whose measure is between 90 and 180 is an obtuse angle. Now let's see what is 180. Now again you see, this is one ray, another ray. Both of them have this common vertex. This angle formed is 180 degree and we call it a straight angle. Okay, so what is a straight angle? If the measure of the angle is 180, it is straight angle. So for an obtuse angle, so this must be 180 straight line. So this measure has to be more than 90, less than 180. This angle is obtuse angle. Next, we have complementary angles. What are complementary angles? Two angles, if their sum is 90 degree. Complementary angles. Two angles whose sum is 90 degree. They are called complementary angles and each is a complement of the other. For example, you have 40 degree and 50 degree. So the sum of these two angles 40 plus 50 is 90. So 40 and 50 are complementary angles and each is called a complement of the other. Next, supplementary angles. If two angles the same, if the sum is 180 degree. Okay, so for example, you can take two angles. If one is 120 degree and the other is 60 degree, then their sum is 180 degree. Therefore, these two are called supplementary angles. Why? Because their sum is 180 degree. Okay, so complementary angles and supplementary angles. Now, another one is adjacent angles. What are adjacent angles? Now, suppose I have an angle. This is one angle, say A, B, C. ABC is one angle. I have another angle. So there are two angles, angle A, B, C, and the second one is angle DBC. Now, what do you find in these two angles? Both these angles have this one as their vertex, angle ABC. This is the vertex, angle DBC. This is the vertex. So, these two angles have the same vertex. Moreover, they have one common arm. Which is the common arm? BC. BC is one arm for this angle. BC is one arm for this angle, DBC. So both of them have one common arm. So let us see for adjacent angles. What you need, the first thing is common vertex. Second point is common arm. Not only this common arm, also the non-common arms must be on different sides of the common arm. Which are the non-common arms? BA and BD. So they are on different sides of the common arm. Common arm is BC. So the third requirement is non-common arms should be on different sides of the common arm. Okay, then these two angles are called adjacent angles. Clear? For two angles to be adjacent, they should be, or they should have one common vertex, one common arm, and the non-common arms should be on different sides of the common arm. Clear? Now these are adjacent. Now the same figure, if I take these two angles, angle DBC and angle CBA, are they adjacent? DBC, that is this, no sorry, take it DBA and CBA. DBA, CBA, yes, they are two angles, they have a common vertex, both of them have a common arm BA. But what about the non-common arms? For this one DBA, this is the non-common arm and this is the non-common arm. They are on the same side of the common arm, isn't it? Common arm is BA. Therefore, these two are not adjacent. Okay, understood? So adjacent. Now suppose in this adjacent angle, this ray, instead of this, D comes here. Okay. Instead of this ray, D becomes here. Then what happens? Again, this is one angle. This is another angle. Are they adjacent? Yes, they are adjacent because these two angles have a common vertex. They have a common arm, and non-common arms are on different sides of the common arm. They are adjacent angles. So if two adjacent angles, the non-common arms form a straight line, then they form a linear pair. They form a linear pair. So what is a linear pair? Two adjacent angles having their non-common arms a straight line, they form a linear pair. Also you find what is the sum of the adjacent angles in a linear pair? For a linear pair, the sum of adjacent angles is 180 degree. Okay children, understood? So hope you understood this few basic terms. Now these you will be requiring frequently in your further chapters. So please learn or try to know this terms nicely. Okay children, so thank you for today.